Hi everyone, I am Mohammad Shamim Ahmed and today we are going to discuss about the AES key expansion. So in our problem, we will be provided with a round key and we need to find next round key as our solution. So for the first step of our solution, we need to identify the last column of our provided round key, which is this one. So now in this column, our first value will put it in the last position and all other value will be go up by one index. Then we put our new column into the S box for processing. Inside the S box, the first digit will be the row and the last one will be the column. For 9F, the 9 will be our row and F will be our column. For 42, 4 will be our row and 2 will be our column in X box. For 9F, we go to the 9th row and F for F, we go to the F column. Then we will find the DB as result. So we put DB here. For 42, we will go for 4th row and second column, which is the 2C. So we put 2C here. Similarly, we will put all other value here, which is for BC we find 65, for 4C we find 24. So now then here we put the first column as it is, which is 47, 37, 94 and ED here. And now since we are finding the fourth round key, we will go to the Archon table and find the fourth column. So inside our fourth column we have 08, 00, 00 and 00 in our column. So we put down it. After we implement an XOR operation between these three columns, we find a result. And this result will be the first column of our next round key. And for the second phase and so on, we'll put the next column. So since we put down first column here, we need to put down second column here. And then implement a XOR operation between the next round first column and the previous round second column. After the XOR operation, we find a result here, and this result will be the second column of our next round key. Similarly, here we'll implement another XOR operation between the second column of our next round key and the third column of our previous round key. Then we'll find another result, and then with that result we'll implement a XOR operation with the fourth column of our previous round key, and then we'll found the fourth column of our next round key, and then we'll finish the processing since we find all the column of our next round key. So in the source code, since we are working with third round key, I implement an integer variable and declare its round number is 3. And then we declare a hexadecimal matrices where it is a square matrix. So there are 4 column and 4 row available in this list. So we find the row count here with the current round hex key dot length, and then we find the column count here. So now we declare 3 list or empty list here. For this 2 list will be our variable for storing the SBOS processing column and after SBOS processing column. And this next round hex key will be storing our data for next round key. Now in this loop we are operating or finding out the last column, which is 4C, 9F, 42 and BC here. So to modify this column, we need to put down the 4C as our last index and 9F as our first, 42 is our second and BC is our third index. So we start as I equal to 1 here. Here I equal to become 1. So for 1 index we put here. So first the 9F added to our SBOS processing column, and then for the second we have added 42 here. For the third round we have added BC, and now when we go to the fourth round, which is the key row count, here if we encounter this phase, then we'll just declare that i's value will be 0, which is index 0, and then just add this index value to our SBOS processing column. So this will be 4C here. So now we have modified our last column, and now we need to put this modified column into the SBOS for processing. In order to do that, we first need to create a function. So here we have created a function for XOR operation where we put two string value as input, and then we modified this true string value as decimal. Since we have hexadecimal number, we need to modify this into a integer number in order to implement the XOR operation. The hexadecimal have 16 digit. We put here radix as 16 and parse it as a integer. Now we implement here XOR operation. Then after the XOR operation completed, we convert this integer value into a hexadecimal number again, and we return the XOR result here. So inside this loop, suppose we have 9f. So we discussed that 9 will be our row and f will be our column. So we need to split this string. So here we have splitting our substring. Here we will find that 9 result, and here we will find out f as our result. So hexadecimal, to convert it into a decimal number, the f value will be 16 and 9's value will be 9. After splitting the number, we just parse in as it integer. So as we discuss it, the 9 will be 9 and the f value will be 16 here. So we go to the SBOX and call the 9th row and 16th column. So our SBOX is provided in list data class, where we write down all the SBOX's row and column here, and the archon table too. So we find the value, which will be the 9th row and 16th column. So for our 9th row, this is our 0th row, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. So this is our 9th row, and inside this will be our the 16th column or last column. So our result will be DB. So here we will find the value DB here for 9th row and 16th column. Now for our second operation, we find this column. Now we need to find the archon column and the first column and implement a XOR operation between these three. So in order to do that, we find the archon value of table. So we create a function where we add the archon value. For first, we have put down the data we have stored here. To find fourth round key, we have a value here as 08. So we implement 08 here, added, and all the other value are 0 for all other cases. You can see it here. All the values here are 0. So our index 1, 2, and 3, all value will be 0 no matter which round we are in. Only the first index, which is 0, the value changes. So since we find the archon list, which we named as archon column, now we need to implement the XOR operation between these three columns. So whenever our index is 0, which means we are going to, for the first operation, we have 3 column for our XOR operation, and from the next one we'll always put 2 column for our XOR operation. So for 3 column we have implemented that if I equal to 0, then we will implement a for loop where first we'll store the after boss processing column and the current hex key column, which will be the after xbox will be the db 2c and 65 and 24, and the current column hexadecimal will be this column, column 1, and then we operate a XOR operation here and we find a result here, which is the result 1. And now we operate another XOR operation between result 1 and archon column, which is here, archon column. Now if we implement this XOR operation, we find a result, final result, which we added our next round key, final result. So we find our first column here. From the second to the last column, we always go to the else part. So when our i's value will be 1, 2 or 3, we go to the else block, and then we implement the XOR operation between the current hex key, which will be for the second column, which will be the second column here, and our result of, or the first column of our next round key. So this is the first column of our next round key, and this is the second column of our previous round key. So we write down it here. Yeah, so this is for if our I value is 1, so the next round key column will be next round key column will be the 1, 0, and the current column will be 1. So we implement a XOR operation between these two and find a result. Then we add a new column, add second column to our next round key here. So when our i's value become 2, then we will add the third one, third column value here, and then our next column will be 2 and the current column will be 3. So similar fashion we will find all our column value for next round key. And now in this loop we just print out the our next round hex key, which is our result. We print down here, and when we run it, we can see that we have inputted a third round key here, and we got the fourth round key here. So if we declare this it is as a fourth, then we will find the fifth round key here. So this is a fifth. If we write down that this is our sixth round key, then our program will provided a seventh round key as a result, which is a immediate next round key. So this is all. Thanks for watching.